A speck of intense, unmistakable red crawls slowly across the loose dirt of a backyard, about the size of a thumbnail. It looks like a giant ant. It isn't. And the nickname it's carried for generations promises something no ant could ever do: killing a cow. That name sounds like the kind of backyard exaggeration that gets repeated generation after generation without anyone ever checking it. But there's a real reason behind it, and size was never the point. The actual answer is something science only just finished measuring with precision. It lives under dead leaves and loose dirt across much of the eastern and southern United States, always walking, never flying, because the half you're watching cross that yard is, by far, the only half of this species that can actually hurt you. Nothing about this animal is what it looks like at first glance. Its scientific name is Dasymutilla occidentalis, part of a wasp family known, fittingly, as velvet ants, for the dense fur covering almost its entire body. Females have no wings at all. They spend their whole lives walking across the ground, exactly like any ant crossing a sidewalk. But an ant lives inside a colony, surrounded by thousands of workers it's related to. This wasp doesn't. It's born alone, hunts alone, and never once shares a nest with another of its own kind. A solitary imposter dressed as a social insect. And that same nickname, the one that kills cows, falls apart under the same scrutiny too. It was coined by rural communities in the American South who documented real stings on human skin, never on cattle. In more than a century of stories passed down by word of mouth, not one confirmed case involves a cow, a horse, or a person killed by this sting. Just because the name exaggerates doesn't mean there's nothing real here to worry about. There's a scientific scale, still used today, built specifically to measure the pain of insect stings on a scale of 1 to 4. Not how much venom gets injected, just the raw pain that venom produces in a human body. This wasp's sting rates a 3, one step below the sting that same scale describes as comparable to torture and well above an ordinary honeybee. And the number that comes next doesn't match anyone's gut instinct. In a sister species from the exact same family, tested precisely in a lab, the venom turned out to be roughly 25 times less lethal, dose for dose, than that same honeybee's. Less actual venom, less medical toxicity, but a pain that almost no other insect on the continent comes close to matching. Pain and danger here measured two completely different things, and the human body, in the exact moment of the sting, can't tell them apart. Before moving on, there's some fine print worth saying plainly. The pain from this sting doesn't fade in a second. Medical reports describe an intense burning, comparable to a real burn, that peaks in the first few minutes and can keep bothering someone for over an hour. Some people report tenderness at the site for days afterward. And even though the venom itself isn't the real issue, there's a separate risk that isn't about the species at all. It's entirely about who gets stung. Like with any wasp or bee, someone allergic to hymenopteran venom can develop a serious reaction, trouble breathing, facial swelling, dizziness, regardless of how toxic that venom actually is for everyone else. To a cow, none of this ever added up to real danger. To an allergic person with no treatment nearby, it can. Stinging isn't the first thing it does when something threatens it. If someone grabs it or steps on it, it doesn't reach for the stinger. It rubs segments of its own exoskeleton together and produces an audible sound, a genuine warning squeak, a defense move most other insects never bother with. In lab tests, that sound alone was enough to make a shrew drop the wasp without a single sting. If the sound doesn't work, the second line of defense doesn't rely on pain either. In controlled trials, its exoskeleton withstood more than 11 times the force needed to crack a honeybee's before it finally gave way. Birds, lizards, large spiders, most of its natural predators simply can't puncture it. The stinger is, quite literally, the last item on a list of defenses, not the first. In the wild, this wasp spends most of the day walking through leaf litter and loose dirt, ignoring almost everything around it. The conflict is never when it starts. Almost always, it's whoever touches it first. Every fact so far applies to only one sex of this insect. What you've been watching cross the grass, red-haired and carrying the sting everyone fears, is always a female, never a male. Males of this species have wings, spend their time flying flower to flower, looking for a mate, and cannot sting under any circumstance. The stinger is, in fact, a modified version of the organ females use to lay eggs, a structure the male's body doesn't even possess, which means that same insect, flying near a window or circling a porch light at night, never once connected by anyone to the one that kills cows, walking through the grass, is completely harmless. Two almost unrecognizable bodies, the exact same species, and only one of them can ever actually hurt you. Before it ever became the insect crossing an open yard, it had a considerably less innocent childhood. Its entire larval stage happens inside another insect's nest, usually ground-nesting bumblebees or other burrowing wasps. The adult female tracks down those nests, forces her way in if she has to, and lays an egg right beside the larva already living there. Once that egg hatches, the velvet ant larva feeds directly on the original larva until nothing is left of it, then pupates inside the very chamber that other species built for itself, sometimes spending the entire winter there. It's born then inside a home it never built, after eating the one who did. With all of that laid out, real prevention is simple. Since females walk and never fly, the actual risk comes down to essentially one scenario: stepping on one barefoot on grass, loose dirt, or the edge of a flower bed. Especially in late summer, their busiest stretch of the year, closed-toe shoes in those spots remove almost all of the real risk. If someone spots one, a furry red and black body moving fast in a zigzag across the dirt, the only thing to do is leave it alone. Don't touch it, don't try to catch it by hand. It wanders off on its own within minutes. No need to scare it away or kill it. So here's what's actually left of the one that kills cows. A name that survived more than a century without a single real body behind it, pinned on an insect that killed nothing bigger than the larva it devoured just to be born. Science managed to change nearly every fact surrounding this story. Everything except the fear. The name is still the first thing someone shouts the moment they see it crossing the grass, long before a single fact in this video ever reaches them.